Hi, welcome back or welcome if you're new here. My name is Aniela and I make videos about sewing, knitting and crochet. Today we are making the perfect Pinterest inspired lace skirt, and the best part is how easy it is to sew one. You don't need a pattern. Basic sewing skills are enough to complete this project. Lace have been a huge trend lately and I'm constantly seeing inspiration like this. Most often these are long maxi length skirts with different kinds of ruffles, but I have seen mini versions that are very cute as well. Of course they are sheer and usually online, but that allows for some very interesting styling options. I especially love pairing lace skirts over trousers or jeans with a large t-shirt to highlight the contrast between the delicate lace and the modern, more casual style, or with a mini tight-fitting tank top and a micro short underneath for some modesty. I think it looks stunning. That's why I finally decided to sew one myself, and I'll show you how. So for this project you'll need fabric, of course, lace fabric. I'm using this lace curtain I found a while ago at a secondhand store. It has this beautiful flower pattern all over it, and it has a lace edging, which I'm also going to utilize as the edge of the skirt. Next, you'll need a measuring tape to measure your body and then the fabric to cut it out. An elastic band. I'm using a 2 centimeter wide elastic that is roughly the length of my waist circumference, and some basic sewing supplies like pins, scissors, thread, and of course a sewing machine. So let's start with measuring ourselves. First your waist circumference, then your hip circumference, and then the distance between these measurements, and next from your hips to the length you want your skirt to be. So this is essentially it for the pattern. We are working with 2 rectangles. The top one is for the top part, including the seam allowance for the waistband, and the second part is our bottom tiered skirt that ends with a nice lace edging at the bottom, and these pieces are cut twice mirrored. To sew the skirt, use French seams. So first step is to place the top pieces wrong sides together and sew along the short edges. Use a 2.5 millimeter straight stitch and sew 1 centimeter from the edge. Next, trim the seam allowance to about 3 millimeters, press to one side, and turn the piece to the other side so that now the good sides are facing each other. Now stitch along the edge with 0.5 centimeter seam allowance, hiding the raw edges inside. Press towards the back and repeat for the other side. Now to create the channel for the elastic, fold the longer edge by 1 centimeter and then by 2.5 centimeters. Pin all around. Depending on the lace you're working with, this may be a little bit challenging, so you can gently press as you fold and pin the fabric to help keep everything in place. Now sew all around, very close to the folded edge. Remember to backstitch and leave a small opening at the end to put the elastic. Press and leave this part for now. Now move on to the bottom tier pieces. Again, place them wrong sides together and sew along the side edges. Trim the seam allowance and press. Turn to the other side and sew again with 1/2 centimeter seam allowance. Press the French seam towards the back and repeat for the other side. To make the gathers, increase the stitch length to 4 millimeters and sew 2 parallel stitch lines along the top edge. First one 1/2 centimeter from the edge and the second one 1.5 centimeter from the edge. Now, before we start pinning the top part of the skirt to the tier, mark the middle and quarter points on both the top and bottom piece of the skirt. This will make the next step a lot easier. Now place the top part of the skirt inside the tier, wrong sides together. Match all the points together so that the sides, quarter points and middle points are together. Then gently pull on both the top and bottom thread to create the gathers. Now take the skirt to your sewing machine and sew all around with 1 centimeter seam allowance. Sew in between the 2 gathering stitch lines. Remember to backstitch at the beginning and the end, and you can adjust the gathers as you go. Then carefully trim the seam allowance, turn the skirt over and sew all around once again with 1/2 centimeter seam allowance, hiding the raw edges inside our French seam. Press the seam towards the top of the skirt. Now it's time for the elastic. Guide the elastic through the channel with a safety pin. Then pin the ends together and stretch the elastic to spread the gathers evenly. Now you can try your skirt on to adjust the length of the elastic if needed. And if everything fits okay, Sew the ends of the elastic together. Remember here to switch to a stretch needle and make a cross stitch over the overlapped edges of the elastic, back stitching a few times. Then trim the edges. The last step is to sew the opening closed, and it's all done. We have come to the end of this video. As you can see, it was a very quick and easy sewing project that you can finish in just one day. Great beginner's project where you can practice sewing French seams and gathering the fabric, and very affordable as well, as there are plenty of lace fabrics, curtains, vintage curtains that you can find secondhand in the thrift store or online. So I hope I explained everything, but if you have any questions, drop a comment under this video and I will be happy to answer. And if you like this tutorial, please leave a like or subscribe for more videos like this. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.